Alright, this is going to be part 2 of What If Goku Was Raised a Killer? Or I believe I titled the video, What If Goku Was Raised an Assassin? You know, basically it's what if Goku was raised by Mercenary Tao, you know. And by the way, I usually do part 2s usually when I get about 100 views, and that's when I drop the next one. Alright, so if anyone was wondering that was waiting on this next drop. Alright, but as always, you know, if you like the video, like, comment, share, subscribe. You know, I really would appreciate more the comments. Just know what y'all think. Anyway, let's get straight to it. So as we know, let's get the little backstory. This is what happened on part 1. You know, you can go watch that. But anyway, the Saiyan baby Kakarot landed. This time he landed near Mercenary Tao, who through examining the child contemplated killing him, you know, because he's a ruthless mercenary, you know. He tells you he has no qualms with killing men, women, and children, according to him. But then he goes against it and decides to raise Goku as his under his wing, you know. And of course that means he inherits Tao's personality, which is you know, quite sadistic and stuff, you know, enjoy killing and things like that. Then he began to train Goku as he was growing up. You know, he learned things like the Dodon Ray. He learned pressure points, you know, as well as he learned how to be ruthless. All right, and after all that, you know, he tells Goku to make a name for himself, as Tao did himself. So Goku goes on to do that. All right. Now, granted, in the canon, Goku's power level was 10. But that was because Gohan had died when he was at an early age. And so he was just kind of out there in the woods. But in this case, Tao never died. So he trained Goku up to where he is now today as a 12-year-old boy. So we're going to make Goku's power level about 86. All right, because Tao's power level is at 110. All right. Anyway, so back to the beginning of the story, or where this story begins. Bulma, she had a hard time getting the Dragon Balls, so she went to hire somebody to help her achieve them. And the person that she hired was none other than Goku Pai Pai himself. All right, and that's when he stated, "You were expecting the hero, but hey, it's me, Goku." All right, because Goku ain't a hero really in this one. All right, and anyway, let's get into it. All right, this is part 2, Bulma's bodyguard. All right, so after that, so we just went over this. They went through the formalities and whatnot. Goku is hired by Bulma to be her bodyguard and achieving the Dragon Balls. All right, when they were on their walk, this is when they ran into none other than Mr. Turtle. All right, but this being a different type of Goku ain't really trying to help Mr. Turtle for free. All right, so they're about to leave him, you know. They're about to leave him, and or Goku might, you know, just move him out the way, get him out the way. Because Bulma says, you know, we're looking for the Dragon Balls. We don't have time to be worried about this turtle. Much like it was in canon, because she was annoyed that Goku helped this turtle. But anyway, and then that's when, you know, Mr. Turtle gets kind of distraught. But then he comes up with the idea. He says, wait, I know that orb. All right, I've seen that before. I could take you to another one where you can get it. All right, and in that case, Goku is intrigued, as well as Bulma. So Goku offers to help Mr. Turtle. So that's how he gets help this time, through the promise of a Dragon Ball. And of course, Goku being Goku promises to to unalive Turtle if he turns out to be lying. On the way returning him to the ocean, they run into the bear thief. All right, and this is when Goku catches his first body. You know, at least his first body in this story. As we all know, he's a trained killer, so he's probably got priors. But this is when Goku catches his first body in our story. All right, so of course he faces off with Bear Thief. Clearly outmatches him. I mean, he outmatched him at power level 10. So in this one, it's even worse. And that's when he breaks the sword that was thrust at him, of course. and then he uses a move. He wants to test out a move of his own that he's been working on. You know, he calls it the Dodon ball. All right, instead of the Dodon ray, it's more of a wider, smaller detonation. So he uses his Dodon ball that he created to take out the bear thief and absolutely evaporate him. Man, he ain't he ain't gonna be in part 3. Let's just put it like that. All right. But seeing this, Turtle is sore afraid, and Bulma's just surprised that he was able to do that. You know, Bulma's also scared of him, but more surprised in the sense that he just annihilated that man, literally destroyed him. But for those who might be thinking, oh wait, Bulma might be a little more sad that he killed someone. No, watch this. All right, y'all gotta remember that Bulma was ready to hop out. All right, Bulma was ready to hop out and let it fly. So clearly she had no problems with shooting. All right, so she was ready to step on Goku. So clearly she wouldn't have no problem with Goku's decision, because she was a shooter herself. Or she was prepared to be a shooter, at the very least. Alright, so anyway, Goku they do that. After that, they bring Turtle back to Roshi, and that's when they visit and they meet Roshi himself. Alright, the Turtle Hermit. So, in that case, Roshi, in this scenario, decides to give the Dragon Ball to them since they did save Turtle. And he also gazes at Goku, curious of him, sees the marking on his chest, and asks him who was his master, or who was he trained under. And then that's what Goku proudly stands and says, I was trained under by none other than the greatest mercenary, Tao, Pai Pai. All right, and that interests Roshi, more so alarms him that he's taking on an apprentice to follow into his footsteps. All right, but anyway, he decides to give the Dragon Ball to Bulma, like canon, except this time Bulma didn't have to show her body or none of that. All right, not in this version. But something that did happen was different in this. Goku never got the Nimbus because he ain't pure-hearted, so he never got the Nimbus. That scenario never happened. So that's the altar right there. Now we go to the next Dragon Ball. All right, this is when they go meet Oolong. All right, I think the episode was called Oolong the Terrible. All right, and then of course you got Bulma, you got Goku. They go to the village. Oolong's around, taking up kids and marrying them or whatever weird. He has some weird shit going on that. But anyway, except in this scenario, they happen to have another woman, so Goku never dresses up, in a dress and uses a disguise. They just follow after this girl. All right, let's just say they got there early, and this girl was still there. So then Goku faces off with Oolong the Terrible. Obviously he obviously he runs circles around him, and he's about to kill him. He's about to, he's about to have some bacon. All right. He's about to go ham. But anyway, but then Bulma, looking at this pig disgusted at Oolong, decides against it. Decides against him landing the killing blow, saying he could be useful with his shape-shifting capabilities. And Goku agrees, with her wishes, and also thinks that was a clever idea. All right, it's among this mark where they go into the desert. So Goku, Oolong, and Bulma are just chilling in the desert, and then that's when Yamcha comes around, and we have the Yamcha battle. All right, they fight the face off, and but this time, as you know, well, first of all, Goku won anyway. But in this sense, when Goku faces off against Yamcha, once again, this is not the same Goku. All right, so they trade blood, they trade a punch, and then Goku just goes ahead and mushes him in the mouth, push him out the way, get him out the way, and then he just he basically slapped him, and of course Bulma's just watching all of this, entertained and whatnot. So Yamcha gets the hell out of there. He dips, and Once again, Bulma's just amazed. Or not really amazed. I mean, she is amazed, but Bulma's more so really glad she made the decision of hiring Goku. Because, they're just breezing through this. Which brings us to the Ox King. Alright, so the Ox King, of course, has another Dragon Ball, which he is not handing over. Lest they put out the fire in Mount Paozu like a cannon. But, Goku's like, well, why don't I just take the Dragon Ball from you? And that's when they have a little scuffle between himself and the Ox King. Of course, by the way, this is crazy. Did y'all know that Ox King's power level, at least in the Turtles movie, was 900? Like, damn. This dude is a powerhouse. But anyway, so Goku's blows don't do anything towards Ox King, which is actually surprising. Because the only person that's ever been able to, completely outclass him was Tao himself. So he's surprised by this. So he then agrees to go ahead and go help him put this fire out. Ox King also goes around at this time to tell them to also be on the lookout for his daughter. So anyway, Goku goes on his way, tells Ox King, who's strong himself, to watch over Bulma, because he is the bodyguard, so he pays account to that. Anyway, so he goes looking after Chichi as well, and that's when you see the classic where Chi-Chi's running away from this dinosaur, but then is able to decapitate the dinosaur with the crown on their head, or whatever you want to call it, that blade on their head. Except in this case, Goku had got there just then, and he sees this, and he's actually he's impressed. He's impressed that she was able to kill that thing so thoroughly, But then he takes her. He takes her. Doesn't really have much conversation like he did in the canon, because he really don't care. So he takes her and takes Chi-Chi back to Ox King with no fuss, really. So they're reunited, and then he goes on to go get Roshi, or he goes to get the Bancho fan, which Roshi had. So just like his master, he picks up a log and he uses it to fly. All right, because he can't fly himself, but he can use an object to fly in a sense, which he does. Of course, he doesn't have this. He doesn't have the power pole, but it's the best we can do with artwork. So work with me there. That's when he comes back to Roshi. Roshi's like, "Oh, it's you again," And he the Bancho fan ain't really in condition. So Roshi himself goes to the Burning Mountain. And then that's when he does the famous Kamehameha, He puts out the fire, which once again impresses Goku to wonder what that technique is. And that's when he tries to replicate the attack that he did in the cannon. I remember in the cannon he used the Kamehameha. He blew up. He destroyed the car. Well, in this sense, because Goku's stronger, he would have just destroyed the car entirely. But also, instead of doing the blue Kamehameha, it's more yellow. It's more of an angry Kamehameha, which is similar to when Goku had fought Frieza. For those of you who don't know, when Goku did that final blast against Frieza, that attack is known as the angry Kamehameha, which is a yellow Kamehameha. Well, Goku took that and basically did the same thing to this car, and he had an angry Kamehameha, which was obviously weaker. But his Kamehameha was yellow. Alright, so blew up the car entirely, completely annihilated, which surprised Roshi. It surprised everybody, really. And then Goku said, "Yeah, that was a good technique, What else you got up your tricks, old man?" And then that's when, Roshi tells him that's something for another day, and they go about their own business. Anyway, locking it up, Chi-Chi is reunited with her father, and Goku and Bulma about to dip out. Chi-Chi looks at Goku like she's about to ask him something, but Goku, being a different type of Goku, he ain't really got time for all that, so he just dips. So she never got to ask Goku if he wanted to marry her. So anyway, they head out. Goku and Bulma and Oolong. So they head out, and that's when Goku and Bulma have a little talk, kind of, and Bulma's like asking, like, he's pretty impressive and stuff like that. And then Bulma says, "So what does he really want to do when this is all over?" So this is when they actually start to have a little bit of dialogue. And Goku says, I'm gonna go back to doing what I was always doing, which was stepping on people. But then Bulma says, maybe there's more to that. Maybe there's more adventure to that and stuff. And Goku actually starts to think maybe she's right, but of course he just brushes it off ultimately because he knows that he can't really adventure after his mission's complete because he's got to serve his master, which is Tao, his adopted father. So he doesn't really have the choice. He has duties to do. All right, but it was a little bit of a dialogue moment where Goku got to actually have a conversation that wasn't involving around murder or payment, money. And at that, this is when we branch up on Tao. When all that was happening, Tao was talking to his brother about his new apprentice, his adopted son, and that he has plans for him. All right, but we're gonna touch on that in the next video. So I hope you guys liked it. You guys like, comment, subscribe, of course, but especially comment where you think this is gonna go, where you want it to go, and what you think is gonna happen. All right, and that's pretty much the end of this video. I'll catch y'all later. Gone.